guys? Aaron Garza, founder here at Pureline Nutrition Company in Texas. Hope you're doing well. Listen, it has been explosive the last few months. We've been really busy. A lot of people getting in shape. I think this whole COVID thing has blown over and people are like back in the gym, training hard, doing all the stuff that they like to do. And we've been getting inundated with questions. You know, we've got a lot of people asking us stuff about our products, stuff about getting in shape. And usually for the most part, you know, we'll read an email, get back to a person, or we'll send them a text message or a, Facebook message or whatever, and it's pretty much ends at that. But we've had some pretty interesting questions lately, so much so that I think they're questions that need to be answered on video so that people can listen to this and they can make their decisions about, what they do. And these are mainly concerning, products like our muscle building compounds, our pro-hormone products. And in this segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about one particular pro-hormone, and then I'm going to actually go into a peptide. But let me read you the question, because I think that'll give you some context as to what we're going to talk about. And hopefully you'll get something out of this. And if you have any questions, you can always hit us up, 1-800-632-1402, or email us at info@thepureline.com. So this question comes from Jimmy. Hi there, Aaron. My name is Jimmy, and I've seen your YouTube videos, and they're great. My question is this: does the 1-Andro, do you need cycle support for it, or do you need anything just for general health concerns? Also, does it convert to estrogen or DHT? Because I know that increasing testosterone can lead to aromatization. Also, I'm worried that it can cause, issues with my general health, heart issues, cardiovascular issues, or am I just, exaggerating? I'm 46 years old, I'm in good health, been weight training since I was 14. Only problem is now I'm not gaining like before, and recovery slower. Thanks for your time. Jimmy, thanks for the question, first of all. And I can relate to this because I'm actually 46 this year. And, all those things become a concern as you get a little bit older. I'm standing here in a warehouse full of nutritional supplements. This is something I've been doing for the last 15, 20 years of my life. And, as you get older, you start to change your priorities. They shift a little bit from just getting big and putting on muscle and being strong and lean and all that stuff into more optimization. You want to feel good. You want to be well. You want to be able to, run, play with your kids. You want to live a long time. So the things you thought about in your early 20s, they kind of change as you get a little bit older. And your question specifically was about 1-Andro, and that is an ingredient that's in our TestoJet pro-hormone compound. In our formula, we've got 1-Andro, 4-Andro, and Epi-Andro. And let me kind of go through how those work, what they do, what they convert to. That way you can be at ease if you decide to use that product. Interesting thing about that product is I do actually recommend that product a lot for guys over 60 that are dealing with, TRT issues, testosterone levels are low, they're feeling a little bit tired. They don't necessarily just want to jump on testosterone replacement, they want to try some other things first. And the TestoJet, which is our 1-Andro, 4-Andro product, works really well for that. So 1-Andro is essentially a molecule off of DHEA. And through a conversion process, basically a two-step conversion process actually, it converts to something called 1-testosterone in your body. Now 1-testosterone has actually been found to be about 200% stronger than actual testosterone when it comes to building muscle, putting on lean muscle tissue and all of that stuff. The beautiful thing about it is it does not convert to estrogen. There's no aromatization, so you don't have to worry about water retention or gynecomastia or all the negative, stuff that you hear people get from taking regular testosterone. Interesting thing about 1-Andro is that there was a study done, I think around 2013, 2014 at Texas A&M University, and they showed that 300 milligrams of 1-Andro daily was as effective as 300 milligrams per week of testosterone enanthate. That's pretty crazy when you think about it. I mean, you basically have something that's 100% legal and it works extremely well, just as strong as testosterone, helps the body put on muscle, helps you build lean tissue without a lot of the secondary effects that come with aromatizing steroids. So 1-Andro is an excellent compound. Now the second compound that we have in that TestoJet formula is 4-Andro. 4-Andro works similarly to the 1-testosterone, except it does cause you to put on a little bit more tissue and bulk. Doesn't aromatize, so you won't have the water retention issue. It also converts by a two-step process to actual testosterone. So now you've got 1-testosterone and testosterone working for you. And as I said before, they don't aromatize in these particular compounds, so that helps you out tremendously. And the third compound in that product is called Epi-Androsterone. Epi-Andro is unique in the sense that it kind of helps the other two, the 4 and the 1, work better. You've got this little stuff floating around called sex hormone binding globulin, and whenever you put a testosterone in your body, it tends to stick to that sex hormone binding globulin, and you don't get all the testosterone utilization that you could from the compound you're taking. What the Epi-Andro does is it binds with that SHBG so that the 1 and 4 andro are more available to be used for building muscle tissue, burning fat, which means you need to take slower of a dosage of them and get the same results. So it's a really cool compound in the way that it works with 4 and 1 andro. So that's how the TestoJet works. Now, in regards to your question about, is it dangerous, health effects, anything, including testosterone, heck, anything, even Advil, stuff that you take daily can be dangerous if you use too much of it or you take it for prolonged periods of time. Interestingly enough, that study that I referred to earlier about the one done at Texas A&M was done with 300 milligrams of 1 andro daily. Most products you take aren't going to give you that type of dose. They're going to give you something like 100, 150 milligrams per day. And that's a very safe dose that's going to help you gain lean muscle tissue, but without all the secondary effects that can come through taking a testosterone type product. So as long as your cycle length is about 8 to 12 weeks and your time after that is about, or I should say your time off after that is about 12 weeks as well. And during that time, you're taking your PCT, T-Drive, products that help elevate natural testosterone, you're gonna be fine. The issues start to arise when you're taking things for longer than 20 weeks, 24 weeks, 32 weeks plus, years on end, and you're taking multiple compounds in super high dosages. And even at that, I've seen a lot of my own friends and people I know who've taken high dosages of products, anabolics in particular, for years on end, and simply after discontinuing their use for about 6 months to 8 months, they're fine. So I'm not saying that's in every case. I'm not giving you medical advice, but just be reasonable with what you decide to do and make sure that your cycle length is in the 8 to 12 week time period and that you are taking time off after that. He had also asked a question whether, cycle support during your program is a good idea, and absolutely. Anything that's going to help promote the health and wellness of your internal organs, your kidney, your liver, heart, cardiovascular wise, all of that stuff is just going to help the health. So it's absolutely worth taking. It's not a bad idea whatsoever. So I hope that answers your question, Jimmy. Now, the next one we have is an interesting one that we've been hearing, especially in our stores. If you visit our stores, we have a lot of people asking about something called BPC-157. And this one comes from Mike, and he said, hey man, I've been hearing a lot about BPC-157 for joint health and repair. Does it really work? What is it, and where can I purchase it? So this is an interesting compound. BPC-157 is actually a peptide, and it comes from human gastric juices. We actually have it in our gastric system, and it's a 15 amino acid sequence that, when put together, creates what's called BPC-157. And that stands for Body Protective Compound 157. Now, this is not a brand new compound. It's been around for a good 5 to 10 years, I'd say. It's just not heavily researched. It's just not heavily used. And it's neither a medication or a supplement. It's more of a research product right now. So if you do take it, make sure that you are doing your research on it, that you do a little bit of investigation on how it works, all the details behind it, etc. But in a nutshell, what we found is that with BPC-157, which by the way can be taken both injectably, or I should say by injection, or via orally through capsules, it's active both ways. It's systemic, so it doesn't matter how you take it, it works on the entire system. Now, what we hear mostly about BPC-157 is that it sends healing agents or things in your system that actually help accelerate healing to those areas. For example, tendons. I'll give you my own experience with it. I've been going through a bout of tendonitis for the last 4 to 5 months, and nothing works. For those of you who know what tendonitis is, it's an issue where there's not a lot of blood flow into the tendon. So for example, mine, it's called medial epicondylitis, otherwise known as golfer's elbow. I don't golf, but it's the name for it. And that area does not get a lot of blood flow. It does not get a lot of connective tissue healing. There's just not a lot of stuff going on in there. And I've done a lot of things. I've done PRP, which is platelet-rich plasma. I've done some amniotic cell stem therapy, a bunch of different things to try and help that. And some have been mildly effective, but nothing's cured it. I started taking that BPC-157 probably about 6 to 7 weeks ago. And I can tell you now, I've been the best phase I've been with my tendonitis. It really has helped me. So I've heard people experience positive effects from everything from their digestive issues. It's supposed to help healing the gastric lining. Like I said, accelerating healing after injury. If there's any type of torn tissue, whether it's muscles, ligaments, tendons, etc., it's absolutely beneficial for helping heal those areas. So BPC-157, it's known as body protective compound 157. It's being widely used. I've seen it on Amazon. I've seen it on eBay. I've seen it in many different places, both injectable and oral forms. Obviously, if you're going to do the injectable form, you need to know what you're doing and research that. And from what I understand, you would use it in the area that you have an injury. I use the oral form simply because we have it at our stores. You can go to any Pureline Nutrition, and we do have BPC-157 available, although in limited quantities because it's really hard to come by. And like I said, the results have been pretty good. So as far as answering your question, Mike, I think it's a great product. You should definitely try it if you do have some type of injury. And one thing I should mention is that I think the length of time that you want to take it for is about 4 to 5 weeks. After that, you need to take a couple of weeks off, probably 3 to 4 before you resume it again. And the dosage, before I forget, is about 200 to 400 micrograms twice a day. I think ours is right at 250 micrograms, so you would be taking it twice a day, giving you 500 micrograms. Great product. Like I said, it is for research currently, but you can do all the research you need on the internet and you can find out what it does. So guys, those are a couple questions that we've been getting. I think those are just kind of the basics. We're going to start doing this once a week and kind of giving you some information about things that you guys want to know about. So do us a favor, email your questions to info@thepureline.com and make sure and put in there somewhere a question for Aaron. I'll get back at you. And whether it's about pro hormone, Sarms, anything that we talk about on our channel, we're happy to help you out, give you some information about it. Don't forget to visit our website, thepureline.com, and make sure and subscribe to our channel. Thanks, guys.